you just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker.
Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark.
Even got that homebrew flowing.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. In this bulletin, Fiji looks to India for support in its climate change campaign. Australian naval vessel completed mapping exercise of Fiji waters. And heads of primary schools want salary increase. But first up, congratulations to the Australian netball team for retaining the World Cup title after beating New Zealand 58-55 in the final. Now on to local news. More people have been rounded up by police for their alleged involvement in attempts to make Nandrunga Navusa a separate state. FBC News understands 12 people were taken in today and are being kept in custody at the Singatoka and Lautoka police station. Calls made to Police Chief of Intelligence and Investigation, ACP Henry Brown, from midday to this evening were not answered. It is understood the 12 will appear in court tomorrow. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has called on India's support on behalf of Pacific Small Island developing states for this year's climate change talks in Paris, France. The Prime Minister highlighted this in a letter to his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi as he congratulated India on its 69th year of independence. Bainimarama stated Fiji and the Pacific are facing the impacts of sea level rises and extreme weather events caused by climate change. He sought specifically India's support on this issue, which is of great importance to the Pacific people. Fiji and the Pacific intend to spearhead the campaign for binding cuts in carbon emissions at the World Climate Summit in Paris at the end of November. Bainimarama is expected to raise this issue personally with Modi when they meet at the India-Pacific Leaders meeting in Jaipur later this week. Police are investigating the death of an 87-year-old man of Sakoda settlement in Taderua, Suva, yesterday afternoon. The man's body was discovered by his daughter when returning home from work. According to police, the back door of the house was open and some items had been stolen. The Ministry of Tourism is embarking on a number of initiatives to hit the 1 million visitor arrival per year quota. One of the major plans is to declare the capital city as a destination.
London, Paris, Bangkok and Hong Kong are some of the destinations competing with its own country in tourism. Fiji now will also follow the trend and declare Suva as a destination. This means that Suva will compete with the country as a whole in terms of visitor arrivals.
The one thing that most tourists want to do is visit the capital city. And these are high-spending tourists that want to come here. So I invite all of you involved in Suva. The ministry is actually looking at the moment to turn Suva into Destination Suva. And I invite all the businesses that are in Suva to take a little bit more civic pride and turn Suva into Destination Suva.
Speaking at the 2015 Fiji Business Forum in Suva yesterday, Fayez Koya says Suva has the potential to attract more cruise ships than any other country in the Pacific region.
You know, unfortunately, Vanuatu had cyclones and stuff, so they lost quite a lot. But we are the benefactors of all of this. It may not be a nice thing to say, but there is a huge interest in turning Suva into Destination Suva. So the cruise ship industry is such a vital part of our tourism industry.
Provisional numbers for visitor arrivals for the country for June 2015 show 72,525, an increase of 13.8% compared to an year earlier. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
The Australian Navy vessel HMAS Lewin has completed its first survey operation in the country, mapping the approaches to Fiji and Rotuma. The survey will help allow safe navigation of commercial vessels to our shores. Akasita Tale has more.
Rotuma has been having shipping services problems for a long time. Following a recent seabed mapping exercise conducted on its waters, the HMAS Lewin confirms chances are high for an extension to the current wharf.
We conducted surveying around their Owen Arthur Wharf, and we got depth ranges from anywhere from 4 to 7 metres in that area. And we also surveyed around the other side where the old boat passage was, and that was deemed unsuitable. So their future expansion of the wharf is most likely going to be the expansion of Owen Arthur Wharf.
Similar activities conducted in Lautoka showed possible chances of a second port of entry.
The Fijian Navy had already conducted a survey, a single beam survey in there, and our role was to check the depths and confirm whether their single beam survey was accurate. We're still in the processing that at the moment, but the initial reports are that it's a very accurate survey and they'll be able to open up a second entry into Lautoka.
Before returning to Suva, the 65-member crew also surveyed the Nandi Bay, where it has attracted many cruise ships.
The cruise ships have a lot of interest in Nandi Bay near Danaroo Island, anchoring in that bay there, so we conducted a survey of an area to the south and just basically found that it was very suitable for cruise ships to anchor. It's a very gently shoaling area and the holding ground for anchorage is quite good.
The Navy ship visited Nomea, Rotuma and Fiji and left our shores for Australia on Friday. The visit builds on talks between Fiji's Minister for Defence and the Vice Chief of the Australian Defence Force last December on the renewed maritime security partnership between Australia and Fiji. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
The Fiji Head Teachers Association is asking the Ministry of Education to look at the possibility of increasing the pay of heads of primary schools around the country. The request was made during the 3-day Fiji Head Teachers Conference in Tavuki, Kandavu.
Head teachers around the country made several requests to the Education Ministry at their annual conference in Tavuki this past week, one of which is to increase their salary. Head teachers currently receive approximately between $24,000 to $33,000 a year.
With the new assessment in place, I'm not telling the ministry percentage, but please give us some increment. They will boost us to teach more, do more hard work.
The association says with the current reforms, the workload of head teachers has now increased, especially for those who also teach. It is requesting that all heads of schools be relieved of teaching duties to undertake administrative work.
At the moment, all the heads above 4C are teaching, are not teaching, while the others, 5D and 6D head teachers are teaching. And imagine a head teacher in a 6D school teaching a composite class and also attending to administrative matters.
The association has also requested for the ministry to set aside one day in the school calendar for sports.
Sporting is part of education development. It is a holistic development. Our heads of schools, our head teachers are struggling to organize sports on a school day.
Other requests made by the association include a review of the conduct and rating of exams, an audit of textbooks to ensure they are appropriate for the primary school level, ensuring that all textbooks are in schools before the academic year starts, and continuous dialogue with the Education Ministry. Eleanor Turangai View, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, public urge to have patience with LTA as major reforms get underway.
Ya bina boleh menonton watch rumah ini musik mau kena bola FM 62 na seri na ngona ni ndende manda kay Central Rental sa pote kena rusu ko kita minichi me ba na koloko. Ni sa bola.
Oya wa wati soni dalai.
Gonga ya musik don.
Nama kikirau mena tolu kena betu. Ena via kabi molichi kena porombuka.
Goria na lali ne kabi. Bola FM 62 na seri.
Welcome back. You're with FBC News. The Land Transport Authority is working hard to win the trust of its customers. Opening a new LTA office in Lambasa, Local Government Minister Praveen Bala says with the restructure of LTA, the priority now is to be customer-focused, customer-oriented and customer-friendly. Eleanor Turangaivu reports.
The public is urged to have patience with the Land Transport Authority when it comes to customer service.
After taking this department under my ministry, I'm also coming in terms to know the difficulties LTA has as well. So what I will urge all the Fijians of this country to have patience, number one. Number two, give us some time.
Opening the new LTA office in Lambasa, Praveen Bala says the LTA is refocusing its operations to improve its customer service and take it to another level.
LTA is aware of the inconvenience created to customers when waiting behind long lines and long queues to pay for their fines or conduct vehicle search or line up to renew their driver's license. All of the above can now be easily done online using the LTA soft system.
The new LTA office will offer a much bigger customer service area and is expected to serve close to 60,000 people. As part of its ongoing customer service improvement program, LTA is implementing a new software that will enable customers to access LTA services from the comfort of their own homes or offices.
I've told the CEO and the senior staff of LTA that our priority is customer service. Once we're going to fix this problem, the dust will settle.
The LTA soft system is currently being tested and fine-tuned in accordance to its specification and it's expected to be launched soon. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
The Agriculture Ministry welcomes any plan to set up another high-temperature forced air facility in the country. At the moment, there is only one such facility in Fiji, based at the Nature's Way Cooperative Limited in Nadi. Akasita Tale tells us more.
The lone high-temperature forced air facility located in Nandi is being used to quarantine papaya. It involves slowly heating the fruit for 5 to 6 hours to a temperature of 47.2 degrees Celsius, enough to kill fruit fly, larvae and eggs. The Agriculture Ministry says they welcome any moves to have another such facility in the country.
We do appreciate if there will be plans for more of such facilities. It gives farmers options and of course it gives us the opportunity to maximize the potential in the agriculture sector as well.
Minister for Public Enterprise Ayar Sayed Kayum says Nature's Way Cooperative is the only entity that provides this treatment, so there is no competition. He says government is looking at opportunities to have another supplier.
This type of facility is only available in Nandi, in Fiji. So, you may have a Dalo exporter from Tailevu or, Navua, but it all has to be done here. I suppose the logic being that the flight goes from here. But then, of course, if Nosori opens up or, there's obviously flights from Nosori. So if there's a facility there, it makes then our exports less inexpensive.
In the meantime, Nature's Way Cooperative is reassuring farmers their facility remains functional at all times.
We take on board suggestions for improvements if the facility has anything wrong with it. We immediately get our consultants and try and improve, everything so that our treatment process doesn't get held back in any way.
The high-temperature forced air treatment increases the shelf life of fruit, making it marketable. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
Fiji needs to have more audio and video specialists to attract even more producers from India to shoot in the country. Fiji's ambassador to India, Yogesh Karan, says Fiji is already the talk of the town in Bollywood. However, we need more skilled local people.
Fiji's location and beauty has already won the hearts of Bollywood producers. The only limitation is that we do not have skilled people to assist them in making films.
For example, technicians, very high
highly skilled technicians. When they bring equipment here, they have to bring technicians. So these are some of the costs that they have talked to us, that if we could have similar facilities here so they don't have to bring those huge equipments to do film shootings.
The recent opening of a Fiji embassy in Mumbai will work to Fiji's advantage in terms of securing producers to have their films shot here. A team is on the ground looking into this.
Honorary Consul has been appointed, so that's the connectivity and connections will be better. We have somebody on ground in Mumbai.
Film Fiji Chief Executive Dallas Foon admits there is a lack of audio and video skills locally. He told FBC News Film Fiji is already working to improve this by developing local skills through the Kula Awards program, where high school students are given training by international experts. This year, the US Embassy assisted Fiji by bringing 2 award-winning filmmakers from USA to train students for the Kula Awards competition. Film Fiji also holds masterclass workshops for industry stakeholders. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
Growing cut flowers can be an extremely rewarding venture. This is especially true for a woman who developed her love for flowers from a young age, and today she is one of the country's most successful florists. Eleanor Turangaivu has our Successful Fijian story for tonight.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
The floral industry in Fiji is blooming, generated by the growing interests of flower enthusiasts. One such enthusiast is Parvina Ray of Koranivia outside Nosori. It's been 14 years now since she joined the Suva Horticulture Circle to network with those who have the same passion.
My interest was from a long time, but the more I took interest from the time I joined the circle. Yeah, and until now I'm doing, and I'm planning to do in a bigger way.
Ray started her own business 10 years ago by collecting different plants and flowers and planting them. Since then, she has had to expand her nursery.
I built a small nursery, and from that time, slowly by slowly, when my kids finish school, then I start to do it in a bigger way.
Growing cut flowers requires a lot of dedication. In a day, Ray spends most of her time tending to her plants and flowers, the prices of which vary from $5 to $50. She supplies flowers to florists in Suva and does flower arrangements for various occasions.
I take quite interest in doing planting, and I'm a florist also. Yeah. I need cut flowers, so I have to buy. It's so expensive, $18 a dozen, so I thought to do my own. That's why I'm doing this.
A couple of weeks ago, Ray opened another extension to her nursery, which is called Parvina's Secret Garden. This was made possible through a government grant.
They had requested for the extension of their nursery. So before, they had one nursery, which is on that end, and we have given them around 5,700 for the extension.
Now I'm so happy. I have a big nursery now, and I can do a lot. I can earn a lot, help my family and my son and my husband.
With there already being a lot of flower businesses around the country, Ray is deciding to make hers stand out. With the help of the Provincial Development Office, she's looking to import new flowers from overseas.
I like new plants like desert rose and orchids. There are many new plants that we can import. So I'm thinking to import by next year.
Ray participates in major flower shows around the country and sells her flowers and plants during major festivals like the Hibiscus Festival. She has an advice for those stay-at-home moms or wives who love flowers.
They can be independent if they do this business. If they are in plants, they can be independent and they can help their family in financial, yeah. And they can be healthy and stress-free with this.
Ray is now looking forward to a flower show in the capital city in November, where she can showcase her plants and flower arrangements. She is proof that you can make a living from a passion that you dedicate yourself to. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
The Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
Coming up in sports, Flanker looking to return to the national team. And Fiji Pearls finish 11th in the World Cup. All that and more after the break.
छू 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 हे हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची इट्स हॉट।
Welcome to FBC Sports. The Fiji Pearls have finished in 11th spot in the Netball World Cup after defeating Scotland 51-41 in the playoff. Fiji missed out on a top 10 finish after losing to Samoa yesterday. The national side went into the tournament ranked 7th but suffered 2 upset losses to Wales and Uganda. And veteran defender Matila Wanganindrola has also announced her retirement at international level after a colourful 14-year playing career. Hard-running flanker Netani Tale is determined to win a spot in the Vodafone Flying Fijian squad to the World Cup in England next month. The 32-year-old is back to fitness from injury and is realistic about his chances in a team full of talented players. Chalendo Dakadaka reports.
Netani Tale is hungry for a third World Cup appearance. The hard-working back rower joined the Flying Fijian squad 2 days ago after recovering from a foot injury which sidelined him during the Pacific Nations Cup.
It's been a long time out playing international rugby. I'm just glad, to be involved, even if it's just like, with a preliminary squad.
Tale last featured for the Flying Fijians in the PNC in 2013. The Harlequins forward now finds himself in a tight spot to make the 31-member final squad against the likes of Akapusingara, Sakyusa Matandingo, Pideliato and Malakai Ravulo.
There's a lot of back rows at the moment. I'm just taking a day as it comes. I'm just happy to be here first of all, and take my chances, see what happens. Hopefully they name the squad end of next week, I think. What worse could happen? End of the day, the boys will go in, whatever team selected, and make the country proud.
After witnessing Fiji's performance in the recent PNC, Tale has a fair idea of what he is up against to retain the white jersey.
Basically, I was kind of like happy with the forwards. Scrummed really well against the big boys like Tonga and Samoa, and especially Japan. It's just everyone's. The combinations are set out, and hopefully we just keep pushing through and work on our the basics at the moment, and fitness as well.
With Tale now back in shape, McKee and his coaching staff will have their work cut out for them in choosing a formidable back row for the World Cup. Tsalendo Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
The Namosi side will make its first ever appearance in the Skipper Cup final next weekend against defending champions Nandrunga. The side pulled off a major upset win over Nandi in the semi-final yesterday to set up a date against the traditional giants of local rugby. Chalendo Dakadaka once again.
They've got it out. There's 3-on-2.
Namosi showed an open brand of rugby to upstage Nandi in the Skipper Cup semi-final yesterday at Prince Charles Park. The visitors outscored the Jet Setters 2-1 with fly half and national sevens rep Kitione Talinga adding 2 penalties.
Boys stick to the game plan. There were things we want to put up to test Nandi defense and also their attack, and we managed. The boys have done tremendously well.
2 yellow cards were shown to Namosi in the match, and officials are eyeing discipline among one of the many weaknesses that will need to be sorted before the final.
We've taken notes of the things, of the areas that we need to work on, and we'll give a good game to Nandrunga next week.
The Skipper Cup final promises to be an entertaining game when Nandrunga and Namosi settle the score on which team are the true champion of provincial rugby. Tsalendo Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
The Rewa football side is determined to continue its winning form in the remaining championships later in the year. The Delta Tigers are still reeling from a successful campaign in the Inc. Mobile Battle of the Giants tournament and have now set their focus on the Inter-District Championship as well as the Pacific Cup in New Zealand.
We try and improve game after game. For us, the next training session is important. The next game is important. Our next training session is all about reflecting back on the WG and a lot of weaknesses that we have encountered, and make sure that we are able to rectify them in the next few training sessions.
Well, Rewa defeated Ba 2-0 in the BOG final last weekend at Ratadakambao Park in Nosori. Fijian winger Tangale Nayaravoro scored a hat-trick of tries to help the World 15 side beat Japan 45-20 last night. The 23-year-old was in an impressive form as he made one last pitch for World Cup selection for the Wallabies. The victory came not long after the Wallabies were hammered 41-13 by the All Blacks in Auckland to retain the Bledisloe Cup for the 13th straight year. Occasional showers were experienced over most places today. A trough of low pressure with associated cloud and showers lies slow moving over Fiji. It is expected to affect the group till tomorrow. Today, all centres recorded temperatures in the high 20s, except for Suva, which recorded a low of 24 degrees. Tomorrow, occasional showers over most places, isolated heavy falls are expected. And the outlook for Tuesday, possible afternoon or evening showers, which means if you are thinking of visiting the Hibiscus grounds, please wear your gumboots. Our main points again. 12 people taken in by police for alleged offence which are seditious in nature. Fiji looks to India for support in its climate change campaign. An Australian naval vessel completes a mapping exercise of Fiji waters. To the poll question, do you think Fiji underestimated its pool opponents at the Netball World Cup? You can visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply #FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Good night.